Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Middle-Aged Mutants Show Live. We're broadcasting to you telepathically from the Kingdom of Atlantis. As with all telepathy, emotional transference is unavoidable. So at any time during this broadcast, you notice that the water gets a little bit warm and then quickly dissipates. It's because there's not too many bathrooms in Atlantis, and what are we supposed to do? I mean, the Atlanteans, I think they kind of know something's up because I'm getting the mad dog really bad. Sorry, but anyways, my name is Ty. I'll be your host for this evening. As always, I'm joined by the Brotherhood of mostly benevolent mutants, Bodz and Noir. Gentlemen, starting with Bodz. How the heck are you, sir?
I was doing great until I found out they put that dye in the water that when you pee it turns everything blue.
Just everywhere in Atlantis.
Yeah,
everywhere.
just everywhere.
We're just like a cloud constantly. We drank so much water before we came down here. Noir, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. I wanted to ask y'all if you've touched grass lately.
Have I
Has
touched
anyone
grass
touched
today?
grass?
Yes.
Yeah,
No.
you know what's funny is like I hear that, and every time he wants to burn someone, like, go touch grass. I'm like, when's the last time anyone just went out and just like grazed their fingers like it's the end of Gladiator? You're having a flashback in the wheat field. It's like,
I do that just about
grass.
I do that just about every day. I make sure to do that after I kill someone, especially. That's the most. It gets all the blood off your fingers.
Well, you heard it here first, FBI. We got him.
We got him.
And then the walls come down in Ty's house, and it's all been a giant sting operation.
Sting
I know. It's
operation.
called FBI phrase.
This podcast has been going to no one but the
It's like
government.
one guy
like
in a surveillance
Krieger or whatever. What was it on the was it The Office? Yeah.
Creed.
What was it?
Creed.
Creed.
Thoughts?
Yeah. How
Yeah.
he's like, yeah. I told him I set up a podcast for him. It was just a Word
document. Yeah. The world's not ready for his thoughts.
But anyways, let's move on to the first topic, gentlemen. Number one, Marvel Rivals has got some gameplay finally. There was a closed alpha just this last weekend, and there's some interesting stuff whenever you actually look at the footage here. So let's go to the videotape.
So I got a question for you.
Oh, well
Is it alpha, then beta?
Way to step on my intro. I thought that was great. The videotape, Bodz, damn. Way to go.
Sorry.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, alpha is within the company usually. Closed alpha. I think they're real loose with these nowadays. Alpha used to be within a certain group, like usually your testers and in your company. Beta was like outside the company.
Oh, okay.
So I think they're running like fast and loose with these definitions.
Yeah, my friend was talking about this at work. This game, he's really looking forward to, and I didn't know what alpha meant. So they used
to just straight up say beta. Alpha is usually like way before even close to ready to showtime, because beta you should be almost done. You're just bug fixing. Alpha could sometimes mean like not feature complete, from what I know. I've played 2 or 3 games that were in pre-alpha a long time ago. I used to do focus tests for a certain company that shall not be named.
I remember that. Yeah.
I would go in there and play stuff that was pre-alpha at the time, and I mean it was rough. Some of it. But
did you have to sign like NDAs and stuff like that?
Yeah, I had to sign NDAs about that. I never did it or whatever, so I would not like to say. Anyhow,
let's just say it rhymes with Gintendo.
Yeah, you really don't want to mess with their lawyers, though.
Probably not. No.
They'll mess you up. Okay, so let me just like I said before, Bot stepped on my cue. Let's go to the videotape. Alrighty, Roo people. Here is coming to us from DVESF, the YouTube channel. This gentleman, I guess he focuses on Spider-Man content, but what I noticed when I saw this was somebody on the roster that really made me happy right here, except for the face paint that kind of takes away from me. But I noticed that there is a Mr. Punisher.
Okay.
In the actual game, which is cool because I was wondering, I was like, he's like the perfect character for this. But let's go ahead and take a little bit. Let's take just like small look at the Spider-Man gameplay.
You've captured more than half of the mission area. Keep going.
I will say this the traversal right now still to me seems a bit rough, especially for Spider-Man. It just, I don't know, it seems jank a little bit.
Well, when you have like the other games out that are just so fluid and
yeah.
Well,
the other thing is
this a PC only game or?
So far, yes, but I can't imagine that it's probably going to do the same thing that we had happen with Overwatch, where I believe Overwatch started as a PC exclusive just for like a very brief amount of time, and then immediately made its way over to the consoles.
How do you feel about Spider-Man's costume in this? You're
the only thing that
Spider-Man aficionado.
It's the only thing I absolutely hate is the shoes. They kind of look like tennis shoes strapped to his. It's like he's wearing tennis shoes over his leotard. And
doesn't that defeat the purpose of him being able to walk up the wall and stuff?
Well, the walk up the wall is like kind of a contested thing with Spider-Man because apparently what's supposed to happen is a lot of people will say that he's wearing nothing under there. It's just like a sock. But some people pointed out, no, it's actually that he has the boots of his suit are made of an unstable molecule that he get like an unstable molecule created by Reed Richards, and that's how he's able to stick to surfaces with his shoes
and fingertips.
And fingertips, yeah. So and I remember this is funny because I've gone back to like the original like Amazing Fantasy and all that. I think it was like the second issue of like, or the first issue of actual Spider-Man, where whenever he was talking about like his powers, he had his fingers pressed up against the wall. He's like, good thing I have these sucker cup fingertips now. And basically it was like his fingers created suction like an octopus and it was sucked to the wall. And I was like, I'm glad they didn't keep that because that's not very cool. But
anytime he reaches for something, it's like, pop, pop, pop.
Yeah.
Get him up.
But this is part for this type of game. It really reminds me of Overwatch. I mean, it's almost one to one with Overwatch.
That's exactly what my friend said, and he asked if I played it, and I was like, I think I played it once, but
yeah, Overwatch. You know, that's the thing about Overwatch is I never cared because I didn't care about any of the characters. I really was like, so this might actually get me to play. The only thing that that makes me trepidatious about this at all is that NetEase is the company that made this game, and they're it's a Chinese company, and they monetize the crap out of Diablo Immortal, which was on the telephone, and so
just a bunch of microtransactions.
Yeah, just a bunch of microtransaction, and usually the thing that's bad is like most of the Chinese companies. If you look at how they deal with cheaters. For example, there's two games that are, there's a game that's pretty egregious out there called Valorant, and it has like a kernel level access to your computer that is like most gamers turns them off because we don't want that kind of like deep level access to our computers. Yeah. So I'm kind of worried that this is going to be the same way. I know it kind of irks me because I didn't know till after I purchased what is it? I forget the name of the game. Helldivers 2 that it actually has kernel level access as well. I'm like, well, it's too late. I've already signed up. But at least it's I believe it's a Dutch company. The publisher is Sony, so I have like some recourse there. But
I know how Bodz feels about the Dutch.
Yeah, so, I don't.
They killed his whole family. I can see how he feels about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
No,
but I do. I do like that. You know, they're just messing with your computer because they used to chop your hands off. Cheaters. So
cheater.
It's a little, It's a little better.
They softened. Yeah. And here's Punisher gameplay. I do not like how absolutely hulking he is.
Yes.
He looks
I prefer me a slim Punisher. Not like I don't want a big pun rapper. I want a slim Punisher. Slim Shady Punisher. That Slim Shady Punisher comic book. That's what I'm getting at. The Eminem Punisher crossover.
Oh God! Have you seen
I remember that.
Oh, it's so bad, super bad. Yeah, but I mean, he's like typical fare. He kind of reminds me of the I can't remember what his name was. It was like Soldier 46 or something like that from
47 Hitman.
Yeah, no, from the Overwatch game. This is kind of the same kind of gameplay. He does have like a turret that he can throw down, which is kind of cool. He also has here he goes. He's got this like turret that he can shoot guys with. I guess it's kind of like a lower ultimate, whatever. Because I've seen his actual ultimate, and he gets like a minigun and all that, which is cool.
I remember Punisher jumped like a couple stories high and then landed. That's
have you ever
for
seen? Have you ever seen that cartoon event? It's called like Avengers Confidential or something like that.
Oh yeah, with Punisher in it.
As the Punisher and Black Widow in it.
Yeah,
that he's very like crazy. He has crazy abilities in that. If I remember right, he was just super awesome.
Like, who was the voice of him in there? It was someone famous.
I can't remember.
Yeah, me neither. It's been a while since
I remember seeing it and going like, I don't think the Punisher can do any of this. He's like so awesome. I was like, wow, is he a mutant? Because he's really awesome.
Well, speaking of mutants, are there any mutants in this game? Because I know sometimes they like to separate it. Oh yeah.
Tons. Like if we go back, let's see if he's got the. I saw for sure the Scarlet Witch. Here, let me go to the original videotape here because I saw it in the beginning, the roster. Okay, so we got Hulk, Magneto, Doctor Strange, Groot, Punisher, Storm, Black Panther, Hela, Magic. There's some girl named something Luna, Nova Luna or something like that. I was like, I don't know who that is. No. Iron Man, Scarlet Witch, Spider-Man. It's got Rocket Raccoon. It's got this weird like I guess multiverse. Yeah, there's that Luna chick that I don't know. It's got this. You remember in the Spider-Verse movie how they had the girl that was like an anime girl with a robot spider that she. They have something like that in there too. Rocket Raccoon, and then they have Star-Lord, Loki. It's got quite a big roster.
Okay. I was wondering because remember there was that point in time where like they just ignored X-Men completely. They're like, well, since Sony has the rights, we're not going to put them in anything, and so you'd get like posters with no Wolverine or no mutants or anything like that. So I'm glad we're not at that. We're not in that time period anymore.
Yeah, I mean, Marvel has shaped up and gotten all their stuff back for the most part. It's just Spider-Man's the only thing they don't really have access. Here's what I'm talking about with these shoes. Doesn't it look like he's wearing like dress shoes over his? I don't know. It just looks weird. Yeah.
It's like almost like he's afraid someo's going to step on his instep. Like, I guess some armor there.
Yeah, steel-toed boots there. Here's some of the. Let's see if we get this play. Yeah, this is that Luna chick. I don't know who she is, and this is the Spider Girl.
Doctor Strange.
He's going to go through the roster here a little bit. Nope, he goes right back to Spider-Man. This guy's.
Yeah, I love Spider-Man.
Like Spider-Man just like I do. It looks cool. Again, I'm not like crazy excited. I'm hopefully optimistic it's going to be pretty good, but it just looks like Overwatch with Marvel
flavored with Marvel. It's kind of
yeah. And I mean that's cool because that was the one problem I had with Overwatch is I got bored quickly because it's like I don't really care about anybody here because it was like kind of like the UN of characters. There was just everything there. It wasn't for me, but a lot of people liked it. But the second game, as far as I know, completely kind of belly flop because it just wasn't enough interest or the game wasn't good enough. My friends haven't talked about it to me, so it can't be that great because usually they'll be whenever we get together to do a LAN party, we should play it. They never have said anything about Overwatch 2.
That's because nobody has LAN parties anymore.
Oh, come on. We do have LAN parties. I remember we used to have them at my place every once in a while for Halo. That was
that was my bachelor party. We had a Halo LAN party.
Yeah. But anyways, Marvel's Rivals. I'm not sure when it's coming out. It's coming soon though, because if it's in beta already, it's in closed alpha, we should see the beta pretty soon as well. But I'm gonna guess it's either early next year or late this year. All right, let's move on to the next piece of gaming news here. Right here. Okay, so Red Dead. This is a rumor. Sorry, I have to preface this with saying this is a rumor. So somebody data mined the launcher for Rockstar launcher site. They did a data mine on it, and they found references to a Red Dead Redemption experience to be playable on PC, and then it to come along with Undead Nightmare. Right here it says journeys across the sprawling expanse of American West and Mexico in Red Dead Redemption. It's zombie horror conspansion. That's not how you spell companion.
What?
It's just conspansion.
It's a companion expansion.
Compansion. Good Lord. Undead Nightmare now playable on PC. Datamine screenshot by Tez Funds 2. that's quite a long time for that's just a really long time to come out with the PC port of this. I mean, 2010 is when this game came out, so 14 years later, it's finally coming. And I can't complain because I have been saying for years, God, I wish this game would come.
So this was never on PC initially?
Never once. No, well, that was kind of a big deal for us because we never got this. Whenever we got Red Dead 2, it was like, yay, you know.
Yeah, because you were playing. It was crossplay, wasn't it, or was it not?
No, it wasn't crossplay. I remember.
But you did get it. You did.
Yes,
get
I did get it.
Yeah.
I bought whenever Red Dead Redemption 2 came out on PS4. I bought it and I played it for a bit. It was I mostly played the online component with Bodz. The single player was just so low frame rate, kind of made me sick, and so I was like, I can't do this. And then I just pushed it off for a long time, and then finally the PC came out, and it was horrible when it came out. The port was just not good. It was buggy, had all kinds of problems, and then finally they fixed it, and I played the whole thing all the way through. Love this game, super good.
Yeah,
I give it a 9. It's solid 9.
So
it's great.
It's funny that you said about the low frame rate making you sick. Me and my friend were talking about that today, and we're thinking, if we change the frame rate for No H, would he be able to play games?
Well, that's the thing. Sometimes higher frame rates make people sick. Lower frame rates just make me feel like it's like kind of, I don't know. It just gives me kind of like a headache. I just hate it. It's like a slideshow, and I just don't like looking at it.
Yeah.
But higher frame rates can make people sick. Most of the time, what it is like, it's like when you're in a car and you're trying to focus on something, but you lose focus and you just see the terrain passing you by. That's usually what makes people sick, right? That motion blur will get people to throw up.
It's like if you wear glasses and you kind of mess with your lenses on your face, trying to adjust it. At least for me, you kind of messes up your vision for like a second. You're like, "Whoa, I'm gonna throw up. I should stop driving."
Yeah, my poor. I just got like I told y'all like a few weeks ago. I got a little dog. It's a pug, and I just found out. I took her to the vet the other day. I just found out she gets motion sickness in the car, and so I had her in the back seat, and then I take her in the vet, and I'm like holding her over my shoulder because she's crawling up my shirt, and I'm like, what's going on? And then I'm like, where is all the water coming from? I felt my shoulder; it was soaked. The whole back of my shirt was soaked, drooling. And that doctor goes, "Yeah, that's motion sickness." She gets in my car. They gave her something for her stomach. She still threw up in my car. But yeah, she gets motion sick too. But they said they grow out of it, so hopefully that happens.
Yeah, because isn't that what dogs love? Just riding in cars.
Yeah, it's riding
their
in cars.
Favorite thing.
Well, I thought you know how you take a human, you put them in the front seat of the car usually when they have motion sickness, and they say, well, that kind of helps alleviate the motion sickness. I was hoping the same thing would happen for her. Nope, she vomited all over the front seat.
Sometimes it's just better if you drive. Did you try letting the dog drive?
Yeah. I should have put her up on the steering wheel.
Is that better? It works.
Yeah, but you know what they say? Sometimes you can, like, if you're really sick in video games, what you can do is put and this is like a new accessibility feature. You can put a single dot in the middle of the screen, and that dot gives the user that one focus point, so they don't get sick looking at the train flying by. I don't know if that's true or not. You might want to try that. I think you're pretty much done. Your video gaming days are through. But
my career, I think I hang my jersey up from the rafter.
Yeah, I'm ready to die now.
But usually, I think they say that helps. But I'm super excited for this. I really enjoyed Red Dead Redemption 2 on PC, so I'm definitely going to enjoy 1. And going back, I've only played Red Dead Redemption 1 like maybe twice.
Was it when we were doing like was it just the Undead Nightmare like multiplayer stuff?
Oh yeah, that was that. I played more of that than I played of the actual regular campaign because it's long. It's long.
Yeah, it's.
But Undead Nightmare was short, and you could finish it within like a reasonable amount of time. But yeah, I will very much enjoy to go back and do that again. I am still bummed that they didn't do a Undead Nightmare 2 for Red Dead Redemption 2. I think that's.
I know that's like just a miss.
I know people are kind of like, oh, the zombie thing's been done too much, Yeah, but when they did it, it was kind of fresh.
Yeah.
So I would
now
say
it's kind of part of it,
Yeah, you're kind of I would give them the pass. I'd say, you know what, Call of Duty, if it does another zombie thing, I'm gonna throw up because I'm totally sick of them doing zombie stuff. But if Red Dead did it, I'd be happy with it because it was cool. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But let's move on to the next topic here. Okay, so you guys might be kind of surprised, but apparently, and this is coming to us from the Fan Pulse, so I would say it is not completely confirmed, but apparently X-Men 97 didn't do so hot.
I'm flabbergasted because like I've not seen anything bad about this,
and that's the thing. I think that I'll go into that later, but okay. So X-Men 97, this premiere episode got like some crazy numbers, like 4 million views. I'm sorry, 4 million unique viewers or something like that. And so it was one of the highest watched premieres on Disney Plus. So you think, oh well, people saw it and they just went on to watch it. Apparently, that did not happen because on the Nielsen and I think it's Nielsen and Samba ratings, it's never broke like the top 10 apparently of streams of streaming programs. It was beaten out by even like Halo season 2, which is that's just bad.
Wow.
So that's pretty pathetic. Now people are speculating about what was the cause here. Some people say it's because the Bo DeMayo talking before the show came out, telling us all his stuff that we didn't really want to hear. Changing characters like morph into a non-binary character whenever that did not exist in 1990.
19XX.
Also, there was a few people that speculated. People just got turned off by the reaction to, from basically like X-Men Twitter that was making say, hey, if you don't like this, then don't watch it. Because people would tune in and they would have their complaints about Bo DeMayo and stuff they were hearing about, like morph, and they'd be expressing it. And then there was this official Twitter that said, the X-Men will always be a symbol for inclusion and diversity. If you're a bigot, have a problem with that, you're not an X-Men fan, and you don't understand the slightest about them. And they basically tell you just not to watch the show. And for these days, telling people not to watch your show, that is people will take you up on that little challenge.
Yeah, it's the same thing
I'll
going
see
on
it
with
and raise
Doctor
it.
Who.
Yeah.
Doctor Who's big time.
That
don't watch.
doctor did say that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The what's his name? I cannot remember the name of the guy who's the black guy who's on there. I don't know. Did y'all see? Speaking of that, did y'all see the new villain on there? The physical embodiment of music or whatever it was. It's a dude in drag.
It's pretty unsightly.
It even got apparently was talking to a guy and he said something like, well, who are you, or so it used the wrong pronoun with music, and it's all I'm a them, and it's just I can't with year 2024. Some of this crap is just so stupid. It just really annoys me.
But going back to X-Men, that's kind of what we were expecting to see, a lot of that. And
yes, we were expecting to see a lot of it, and it didn't really materialize. Well, there are things in there that I did not care for. For example, the shower scene with Wolverine and Morph. Bodz says he doesn't see the overtone or the undertones. I see the undertones very clearly.
I think the guy's just being funny.
I don't like that kind of. I don't like that kind of humor. And if we're ever at a gym in the shower, Bodz, please do not emulate, because that is
now that just sounds like a dare. Now I just gotta figure out a way to make this happen.
The other thing I didn't like is whenever the remember it episode, or remember the name, or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
Whenever they were at Genosha and they were doing the whole dance scene, that reminded me too much of like current day X-Men Krakoa, where it's all just kind of like a Met Gala all the time, and I was turned off by that. And
with their $10 apples.
They're $10. No, it was more like the prom feel, and it was just like I said, it was like was like a gay Met Gala. I just really didn't care for that. It just felt weird. And I was like, I need an adult. I don't like this.
I need an adult.
And then what else was there that I didn't care for? Just a little bit of the preachiness of like in the first couple of episodes, how and I can see, like, if you've tuned in for the first episode and you watch it, you're like, wow, the white people are all the bad guys here in this.
Yeah.
And it made it very clear, like, because whenever you saw I don't remember what the name of the original, sorry, I don't remember the name of the bad guys that they first show you, the ones that got the Sentinel tech or whatever.
Yeah.
They had like a weird acronym. It was like HOW or I can't remember what it was. But I noticed like nobody was a person of color, quote unquote. They were all just white people. And I thought, well, I could see if you're watching that first episode and you're like, oh, well, they clearly don't want me here. So maybe some people just kind of took the hint and left. And remember, I said this about whenever we talked about this in our first review of the first few episodes. I said the problem I had with the first 2 episodes is I kind of felt like it was tread ground already. We've already seen this. It's kind of boring. I don't want to listen to this again.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move somewhere else. And then quickly the show moves on.
And they did. They
did. They quickly moved on to other stuff. It still had overtones of like, we're oppressed or whatever. But I just I didn't really see too much of it. There is one blatant scene with who's it? Sunspot, where he's coming out to his mom as a mutant. And I was like, oh
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, whatever.
Allegorical.
Yeah. So I can see how that turned some people off, but apparently most people didn't make it that far. Then they just kind of ditched after the first.
And you know what? I just realized the last episode, the season finale, was tonight.
Yeah, I gotta watch it.
We could have watched it and talked about it, but
we could have. But I was I just barely got this episode out. So, anyways,
well, I was going to say, as a note to, from the point of view of somebody who doesn't watch a whole lot of animation, but did watch the X-Men cartoon back in the day, right? And I feel like, like if you were, I see it gets a lot of hype around the internet, which also makes it surprising that it flopped, which is like crazy because I guess a lot of people tuned in to watch shows like Echo and stuff to kind of hate watch it, And
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
it also kind of lends itself to the theory of all the YouTubers are watching things just to review them, and it's like that's the thing.
I was going to agree. I was going to agree with exactly what you're saying. This show did not get any of the. I'm not gonna say vitriol because usually it's just like it's criticism. It didn't really get much criticism. People would give it, mostly glowing reviews. Most of the time, I think what happens is if there's not enough, like, I guess, headwind for the product, people don't care because apathy is the killer of an actual product. It's not.
Yeah.
If somebody hates something, you'll have to hear about it because somebody's gonna say, "Oh, I flipping hate this thing."
Well, I mean,
and that's why we have Velma season 2.
Yes, it's like because we're all like flabbergasted that Velma gets a second season. It's like, well, it was buzzworthy. A lot of people talked about it, so I hope we're happy because we sort of created this monster.
Yeah.
But
look,
like
guys,
me,
hey guys, just to let you know, we got some comments here. It says, I was hoping, wait, hold on. Let's go to the first one. Thoughts on Bastion. Okay. I thought he was, I thought he was a cool character. I haven't read anything about Bastion before actually seeing this show. So it was kind of like a surprise character to me. I don't know about what you thought about it, Bodz.
I know I remember him. It was like that time period where I remember I was really into X-Men, and then like he came around, and I didn't really get much into those those storylines. So it's like X-Men '97, but I don't know when did Bastion actually come out because it feels like he was kind of maybe a
when was
late
the Zero
90s?
Tolerance story?
Is this like post Acolyte era? Are we talking like? Because that's the kind of the end of the line for me with the X-Men because I kind of moved on to other books after the Marvel Exodus. The Jim Lee left the book. I was kind of like, I mean, I did say for the Executioner song, but I didn't. I didn't stay for much more after that. So and here he's saying to us, I knew him
he's
back
right.
in the mid double aughts where Wolverine led X-Force. See, I've totally missed this. Thank you so much for commenting, man. I really appreciate the audience interaction. It's kind of helping us because you're kind of filling in. Go ahead.
You said you did get the trade for X-Force with Wolverine?
I did recently pick up the X-Force trade by I want to say it's Rick Remender. I just did the pre-order for the omnibus, so I'm guessing this is what he's talking about. This is going to be the era where I'm actually going to get to read about Bastion.
Yeah, I actually looked at my old back when we had Comixology. I do have those still, like those issues. So we should actually, once you get yours, we should talk about it.
We should really do a deep dive in it. He's saying it is Rick Remender. He says he was more, I don't know, Agent Smith in writing back then.
Yeah,
I just do not know the character.
I remember.
He's also saying he says he reminded me of David Xanatos in Gargoyles. I didn't watch the Gargoyle TV show. Oh, that's not true. I did watch a couple of.
I watched
episodes.
A little bit because it was everybody from Star Trek. So
yeah, the animation was great. I remember liking the animation. I thought it was pretty good, but it was kind of one of those things where I was like on the cusp of being just a little bit too old to watch it back then. But he's saying right here he was hoping that Bastion would be more robotic, which I agree. He's a little bit because he's supposed to be a mutant. That's is he a technopath? That's the part I didn't quite understand about Bastion. He's a technopath, so technology speaks to him, or he can basically like mind meld with technology. I didn't really get the gist of that whenever I was watching the show. Like I said, he's a new character to me, but I did like his character, and I thought he was a good big bad because he was, he had such immense power. I was kind of wondering who was going to be their big bad because it seemed like they had kind of purse puppied Magneto. So
I'm just wondering if he was out in '97, like if he existed.
I don't know. I really don't know. It's saying right here, it's too much personality for me. Maybe I'm maybe I'm not too picky. I don't know. He did come off as cold and calculating, but robotic. I wouldn't. Yeah, you're right. I would never say he was not robotic. He was a little and he was also a little bit. I remember in the show he did shed a couple of tears for his mother, so he did have some humanity in the end. So I don't know. Like I said, that gets a new character to me. That I quickly after the Executioner song, I dropped off the book and moved on to other books. I mean, I think we moved almost completely over to Image at the time because that's where all the talent was, and that's probably a bad thing because I missed out on Onslaught. I missed out on trying to think of what else came after that. I missed out on the whole Feral Wolverine thing, which I did just pick up I did pick up the latest omnibus volume 5 of Wolverine, so that should be coming in soon. But I think in that he's already lost his adamantium in volume 4, so this should be just like either it's going to be the end of the Feral era or it's going to be kind of the midst of the Feral.
What happened in that era? Nobody knows.
Yeah, all I know is that if I remember right, there was who was it? Madureira was drawing at the time, and that was that was my reason for wanting to go. Oh, look, this new art, because like I said, everybody transitioned over to Image, and we didn't have. I mean, we had the Kuberts and people like that, but we didn't have anybody that was like fresh and new. And then Madureira comes around, and then Ed McGuinness comes around, and I'm like, oh god, this is a reason to go back to Marvel. But what else does he say here? It says also, I'm considering how amazing Mr. Sinister is now in writing. I was hoping he would be a bit more fun in personality. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He kind of seemed he kind of seemed spot on to me. What are your thoughts, guys?
Well, in the cartoon, it seemed like he was like second fiddle to Bastion. So I don't know. I figured he'd be more of a big bad than Bastion, but that's just because I don't know a lot about Bastion.
Real quick, every time you say Bastion, it sounds like you're saying Baskin, like Baskin Robbins, and I get excited.
Oh, sorry. You're getting excited for 31 flavors? Sorry.
But I remember my knowledge of Bastion is I remember seeing covers for Zero Tolerance, the big story, and that was not a time where I was reading a lot of X-Men. So, yeah, your guess is as good as mine and what he's supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm totally clueless there. He also says Feral Wolverine sucks. Yes, we can all agree that Feral Wolverine sucks. His look was the worst part of him. It was just kind of like, it was like, would you really become that weird and kind of like Quasimodo?
Yeah, he's like, where's my nose? Where'd my nose
go?
go?
What happened to my nose? That was such a weird thing. He also says same with Onslaught. Yeah, I've heard bad things about Onslaught. I know the best thing that we got out of Onslaught was because if I remember right, a lot of Avengers died during Onslaught, and then after that we got the Thunderbolts, and most people
we got Liefeld's Heroes Reborn entire run.
Oh yeah, God Almighty,
legend.
And then he also says, agreed. Messiah Complex is a great story arc to pick up on. The X-Men is the most inconsistent writing in Marvel. It's an abusive relationship for me.
Well,
yeah,
that's like me.
I can't be as bad as the Krakoa, the current Krakoa era, is all I gotta say, because I've read some of that and I cannot do it. The lack of stakes and the lack of I don't know. It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like a cohesive story, because I remember back in the day you'd be reading a book and be like, oh my god, dude, the constant pop-ins of other storylines. You'd have like they'd have some big event that would pop in and like you take your whisk your character away. It feels way worse in the Krakoa era. There'd be like the Fall of X and Swords of X and all that would pop in, and you'd be like, oh my god, what happened? I just lost Wolverine, and the story veers off into a different direction. But again, thank you, Hero Mode Podcast, for coming in and talking with us. We really appreciate it, sir. I'm pretty disappointed that this. I really hope that. Oh, as far as I know, there is going to be a season 2 of the show.
Mm-hmm.
They said Bo DeMay has already made his contribution to the next season. It's already done. I don't know if that's a good thing, because I heard weird stuff about the Wolverina debacle, where he was actually going to have Wolverine taken out of the picture and then bring in this alternate this multiverse version of Wolverine, which this is probably where the actual conflict of ideas happen right here. They were probably like, well, no, you should go along with the comic. He says, pleasure, do the Lord's work with comics, my friends. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. But anyways, that concept really doesn't appeal to me for them to do the Wolverine thing. I'd rather them just stick close to the comics and do the Feral Wolverine, which I know it's not the greatest thing, but at least it stays within what I would consider to be X-Men 97. Because the problem I have is if you veer off in this crazy direction, it won't feel like the same show before. Because right now it kind of does, for the most part. It feels like it's kind of cohesive.
Yeah, it feels like these are 90s storylines and stuff. So, and
it's I'm a little bit biased here, but the biggest thing for me that came out of the show is the hope that we're going to see a Spider-Man 97. When I saw the Magneto actually like do an EMP on the world and they showed Spider-Man, I freaking leapt out of my chair. I thought that was so great, because I just absolutely loved that original series, and to see them continue
the cartoon was a lot of fun. But I will say, I read this one thing with the original voice actor. He tweeted something or responded to something where he was like, I was just as excited as all of you to see it. I have not been contacted whatsoever. So let's keep our fingers crossed. And
bummer. I hope it.
But he said he would do it if it did come around.
That'd be cool. I think you'd have to. It's Greg from
from
Brady movies. He did a great job. But you know what? I think that he might, because now it's this guy named Yuri. He's the one who does most of the Spider-Man voicing in like the video game stuff. They might ask that Yuri, whatever his last name is, to come in and do it, and that would be a disappointing thing. If they're going to do it, I wish they would.
I feel like they would go back and get him, because that's the whole thing about this show. They tried to get all the original voice actors that they could.
Because as far as I know now, they had Rogue was the same original voice. Cal Dodd is still doing Wolverine. The ones that were different, right, are Gambit, Jubilee, Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Storm are the same, and Beast are the same, and then is Nightcrawler the same? I don't even know.
I don't know how much he actually. I want to say yes, but he wasn't on the show a lot.
I know Professor Xavier's voice bugs me something awful.
So he probably is the original one.
No, the
he-
original one I didn't have a
His
problem with.
age.
This one is
okay.
just kind of weird. He doesn't sound exactly right. He does sound like a younger guy trying to do an older voice. So to me, I would think that he's not the same.
It's probably
not the
not
same
then,
voice.
because the guy was probably old when he did it, and he's probably dead now. So
likely.
We can hope.
we could. God,
Lord have mercy. But I really
man.
Go ahead.
I'm just going to say that the Spider-Man voice actor from the Brady Bunch, he's iconic because I had a lot of fun watching the show, had a lot of the toys, and I can hear him to this day say, not now, whenever his powers would go away. That's just etched into my brain and just screaming out, not now. He runs out of wet fluid.
Not now. Yeah, I did love that show. I still remember the premiere episodes with the lizard to this day because they were just so. My favorite ones were still like the goofy stuff later. Whenever they had Blade on the show, and you're like,
Blade, the Punisher.
You're like
Punisher.
You're looking at Blade. And you're like, what did they do to Blade? He's supposed to be black. This guy does not look black. What is going on here?
Yeah,
he had didn't he have like a techno helmet looking thing too? It was just
it was such an odd, bizarre choice.
I don't know
for Blade.
Yeah, it was weird.
I guess they're like, is he out in sunlight? He's going to be very pale. It's like, no, Blade's black. Make him black.
He is the Daywalker.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. That's the
Daywalker, right?
Contention. If you're going to do this character, let's stick to. Let's not race swap. I like Blade being black. I like Storm being black. That's fine. That would
be hilarious if Blade is the one they decide. All right, we can have a white person play. But
yeah, we're just going to switch
Blade.
it. Yeah, not Blade. God almighty.
No, Blade is cool. Even like old 70s Blade is cool.
I know,
like Jive Turkey and stuff.
Yeah, Joe Jive Turkey Drac. I love that. Bodz brought that comic one time to his class when we were in a drawing class in college. Mm-hmm. Bodz brought that, and it was entertainment for all. We all sat there. Bodz was reading it, and I was rolling in the background because it is like just it's funny, like blaxploitation. It's so bad, but it was great. And now you can actually, if you want to go pick it up in Omni, you can get that Omni like the early years of Blade, and it's kind of cool because when you go back to look at like the
Tomb of Dracula and stuff like that,
I believe it was Tomb of Dracula. Yeah. The cool thing about Blade is when you go back and read, he had very specific differences. Like he didn't actually use like metal knives.
No, he used teak wood.
Teak wood knives, which was kind of a thing. He had like goggles and a fro. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, he was
that
cool.
was back in the time of like Son of Satan and that kind of business. Man, so I was going to comment on the X-Men. So when you have someone like me who's like, I could probably be convinced to watch this show. I don't watch a lot of animation, but whatever, And then all I hear as someone who's not fully into it is, if you don't like it, stop watching. All the white people are evil. Morph is gay. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to watch this, guys. Mission accomplished. If this is what you wanted.
It's sad because it's not a bad show. I think he just went the Bo DeMeo guy. He just went too hard. He should have just kept his mouth shut, let his product speak for itself, and he would have been in a better situation. And that's probably why Disney cut ties with him immediately once the show was over. But it is weird because then apparently he scrubbed his let me see what it says down here. I believe it says, since the news of his termination, DeMeo's social media accounts were scrubbed clean, only adding further mystery. However, his contributions to the second season are already completed, so the quality of the show will likely not change too much for fans. So I kind of wonder, I still wonder what the heck was going on there.
Yeah.
I know that's going to be, a mystery. But one thing and you mentioned this earlier, Ty, when about you have people saying like X-Men have always been about this. You're just not a fan. I'm like, I can't say I read as many X-Men books as the next nerd, but I can tell you the ones I did read, they weren't all around saying like we got to protect gay rights. Like this wasn't really happening. They were fighting Mojo and giant robots and stuff.
Yeah. It was they were doing multiple things.
Maybe.
Yeah. It just didn't. It didn't sit focused. It didn't like this wasn't the hill to die on for X-Men. X-Men like moved all over the place, and that's what was great about it. Like there was still always like the specter of like, oh yeah, people don't like us, but then they're like, oh well, we got whisked off to the Shi'ar Empire to fight, or we had to fight Strife, or there's a technovirus from the future. There was always something going on that was fun and kind of cool. So they didn't dwell on this like preachiness.
They did all kinds of stuff.
They did all kinds of stuff.
Like it had better for it like that.
Yeah,
but it wasn't everything.
Yeah, you go to the Claremont years, and it's like you said, now we're in Star Wars, or now we're they just did so many different kinds of things, and that's I think it kind of goes to your point where the show said, hey, yeah, we're about this, and people fear and hate us. Okay, but now we're going to go on to this now, and that's exactly what they did, and that's how the whole comic was.
And then you have these people saying that us. We aren't real fans, and we don't understand the comic that we've been reading since we were children.
Children.
I'm like,
it's goofy.
What do you?
If it's for everybody, then why are we the ones? Yeah, I don't know.
I know, but I will say this about Bo DeMayo is like, yeah, he probably shouldn't have just made a big controversy out of it, but he put out a good product. Like he did. It does appeal to everybody. Like
yes, if he would have shut his mouth and just let the product speak for himself, he would have come out of this looking great. Because this show it's been not bad. It's not the most phenomenal thing I've ever seen. It is leaps and bounds better than What If. What If is so like meh that I can't even finish the second season. It's just not that great. I almost wish that they would have detached What If from the MCU and just made it part of the comics, because it would have been far more interesting, and you could have brought in stuff like the Fantastic Four. You could have brought in the X-Men.
Yeah, right. Just make it Blade, actual Marvel in that MCU.
Yeah, and that's where I think they messed up with What If, because they're referencing stuff from the movies, and they have to stick with those characters, and they can go, well, What If is so much more. Still to this day, one of my favorite What Ifs is what if Wolverine was Lord of the Vampires? I love that. That was so cool. It's still weird.
They could have done that.
It was still weird that Blade wasn't the guy. It was the Punisher instead. That's still weird. But I really like that. That's the first What If I ever saw. Bodz brought it to school, and I was like, whoa, what is that? And he started explaining What If to me.
Yeah.
And I was like enthralled by the idea that they had these like weird, like just slightly changing up something in the Marvel universe and making a whole book out.
Well,
I thought that was amazing.
As the What The comics. I like
What The.
I remember What
The existed too. Yeah.
But
they could have totally done the show like that, and it would have been amazing.
It's funny, the What If show, the animated series, it looks so bland to me. It's like, because you're so handcuffed to the MCU movie universe. It's like, what if this woman was Captain America? What if this one of the African characters you can't name from Black Panther was really Doctor Strange? I'm like, I don't know who that is. I don't really care. It's like and also, one thing I wanted to consider is X-Men 97. I guess ratings-wise, is not considered a success, even though it will get a second season. Because
we'll get a second season.
Because man, you have to really be hable to not get a second season. I guess, but
you have to fail pretty hard.
Say it is a cartoon, and the Echo comparison to the Echo is what I see a lot. I'm like, okay, I get it because Echo is bad, but I'm also like, Echo is a live action show geared towards adults, and X-Men 97 is a nostalgia show that's ultimately for children, I think. Kind of. But in other words, it's an animated show.
It really borders
to a live action.
This show seems like it grew in an anime direction. If you watch it, you're like, wow, this feels like it's pretty faithful to the comics, but it takes this like turn into like shift into anime, and I'm talking mostly about the animation style. It becomes more like fast paced and chaotic, and they do a lot of cool moves and stuff. That the animation is a bit better than it was in the original cartoon, and to be honest, it's way better than anything you see in What If, because What If at times it's just too stiff and I don't know. It's meh. It's very meh.
It's like almost like, is this like just all CGI or what?
It's
like,
all CGI, yeah. But this is kind of like a mixture. They do a little bit of both. I can tell, like like for vehicles and stuff. That's all. Even the Sentinels, they pretty much they look like they were probably CGI, but then they actually drew over them frame by frame.
Yeah.
But this one it fares a bit better than what.
Yeah, the anime scenes the scenes that are seem super anime, like when they're fighting and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That remember me part just seemed like it just went all anime right there.
I know, yeah, it really did.
Man, damn, it was exciting. Like I was oh my gosh, this is amazing.
It was the highlight of the show, as well as the Goblin Queen episode.
Yeah,
that was another highlight for me. I thought those were pretty good. The only one that was, I think, the ones that I think were kind of they're kind of like wah wah. It's they weren't duds, they just weren't great. Was the first 2 episodes, they were all right, and the episode where they went to they fought Mojo, that was kind of meh. I was like, it's not that great. The rest of it's been pretty good though.
Yeah.
And I've appreciated the show. I think it's I'm like, well, it sucks to be to be the X-Men right now.
It's funny because I've only heard people say good things about it. Like I've actually watched it, so this just amazes me that
that's what makes me wonder what metrics they're considering. Like, if you compare it to other animated shows, is it surpassing them? But if you compare it to live action drama that was specifically geared towards adults, so I'm like, I feel like these are 2 different audiences and 2 different subsets of the population. Like I don't know. I feel like but I guess the numbers don't lie. So but like I said, you would have to be exceptionally horrible or openly conservative to get canceled. So
yes,
or Willow.
Yes,
so
or just
Willow.
And
just let you know, Hero Mode. We subscribe to your channel, so thanks a lot again for coming by, man. I really appreciate it, and we just subscribed to you. I want to check out your stuff as well. Anyhow,
I think we talked way more about X-Men 97 than we were supposed to.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Well, we like X-Men. Who doesn't like X-Men?
I love X-Men.
Let's move on to the next product here by Prime. Batman the Caped Crusader. We just got some new screens from the show. Okay, so this is the new one by Bruce Timm, J.J. Abrams, and Matt Reeves. Go ahead, Bodz.
I love Batman also, so yeah, I'm glad we're talking about that. Talk about all my favorite things today.
These are a few of my favorite things. So Batman Caped Crusader is coming out. It is coming out in August. It's going to premiere in August. And they just did some of the new there's just kind of like there's no moving pictures so far we just have screens, but there are some changes here. Okay, quite a few changes. If you go in
his gloves aren't purple.
His gloves are not purple. What the hell? No, yeah, that is kind of the first place I would start. I want purple gloves. He has to have purple gloves. We're going back this far, we got to have purple gloves.
I'm going to assume there's no guns.
I didn't see any guns yet either. That's another, he's got to have the shoulder holsters with the guns. Come on. Or if we're going to go back this far, but this is got to remember, this is the show where they said, well, what we're going to do is it's going to be like, it's going to be very modern. And I'm like, oh, that's where you're messing up.
Modern
you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that.
Yes.
That one little short movie they did, that strange whatever, y'all remember that, the black and white one?
Yeah, let's look at that right quick, because that was
cool.
It was that very short clip, right?
Yeah,
Batman,
it was like a little short
Caped Crusader trailer. He fought the guy, he like hung him, right?
I want to say so. It was like the thing, the old comic book where he like used the bat plane or whatever
bat plane to hang him. Yeah, it was crazy.
Probably a dirigible, because they had dirigibles like crazy back in the day.
If I can find this, CBN. I can't. Oh, here it is. This is the short. Okay, let's go ahead first. Put it up.
Oh yeah. This is it. You could have done it in black and white like this, and we'll never know.
Oh yes, I would have been down. I'd have been down for monochromat.
Yeah, because that's Solomon Grundy.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
This is Solomon Grundy?
Yeah.
I already.
I thought I thought that character didn't have a name. I thought it was just kind of like it's just kind of like a rando, like generic villain.
I just assume it's Solomon Grundy.
Be careful, you fool. I need every drop of her precious blood for my experiment. Now take her inside.
Because because I don't think it's Solomon Grundy, but if he is Solomon Grundy, then this is what his name?
Hugo Strange.
Hugo Strange.
Be ready for. Wait. What's that sound?
So this is what I thought we were going to be getting when they announced the show.
Change.
So this is.
I gotta say, the prop plane Batman with the wings is still the bomb. That is awesome.
Yep.
I like the old Batwing, the '89 Batwing, but I still have a soft spot for this kind of like,
man, that really
turbo
is
prop.
That is OG Batman. It's like, I'm gonna have guns and just mess you up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. He does seem to have lighter gloves in this too.
Yeah, so they probably were supposed to be purple. I'm guessing that's Vicky Vale.
Oh, I don't know. It's the only blonde I can think of. He doesn't have the shoulder holsters here either. Like he's getting cracked upside the head.
No, but I mean, look at the belt. Like that looks like the same belt he's using in the new show.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it was like the little circle.
And in
buckle.
the new one, his ears are like more like the Wolverine pointy, right? They're
like this. They look very close to what we see here.
Yeah.
They didn't change that much. I would watch this in a heartbeat. I'd be all over this.
I watched this and I was like, this is what I want. I want to see a show like this.
Yeah, this is kind of pulpy type of old school type of stuff.
I say if you're gonna go with Batman, embrace pulp.
Yeah,
it's the only thing you can do to.
Everything else has been done to death. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what I don't understand is we're going to add a modern flair to something that's supposed to be old. Like, then just make a modern show that takes place in present day.
Yeah, do that. That's fine.
If you
go back and make Batman Beyond and whatever.
Yes, like if you're adding a modern flair, like I don't know. It's just sort of like just why to me. I just don't understand the appeal.
Now I wonder who's going to voice Batman. I haven't heard anything about that. That's cool. I would tell. It's kind of reminds it. It's not as well animated as the Max Fleischer stuff from the past, the Superman Max Fleischer stuff, because that stuff is like gold. That is awesome. But this is pretty cool. I would have totally, if it was just this kind of pulpy Batman, I'd have been happy. But what we're getting is he does. I will say he does look a bit different here. He some things. I mean, he just seems like a little bit less bulky to me, and I don't know, maybe they're going for like a younger Batman. This maybe is like kind of like year one type thing, but one thing that is weird is that they've gone ahead and they have race swapped Harley Quinn. She's now Asian. I don't know if she's Japanese or Chinese or what, but they have race swapped her, and I guess this is her and as Harley Quinzel, which is weird.
Traditional Korean name.
Yeah, they said this the flip the script with Harley Quinn in this is that she's jovial and goofy as she's the psychiatrist, Harley Quinn or Harleen Quinzel, and then like when she's in her costume form, she's serious and scary.
It's like a
she looks evil,
right? That's what this is supposed to be.
Yeah, maybe so actually.
And I bet you they detach her from Joker because that is the thing they kind of like despise about Harley Quinn is that she was kind of the doctor girlfriend to the Joker, and so you notice now that every time we see her, she's in Lesbians with
Poison Ivy. Yeah.
Poison Ivy, and so I'm kind of wondering if she's going to be her own character in this.
She's is. They said that. Yeah, they said she's not attached to Joker at all in this.
Yeah, that's boring.
Well, I mean, you're going to be different, so be different, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey, then, it looks like there is not who I think it's going to be, is it, Ty?
Yeah, no. Commissioner Gordon has also been rape swapped,
No.
which is, I guess, whatever at this
The
point.
40s?
It-
Who was it?
I wonder if they're
Was
going to
it-
get the guy who's in the, because Matt Reeves is attached to this. I wonder if they're going to get the guy who was in the Batman movie with Pattinson, Robert Pattinson.
Jeffrey Wright?
Oh, yeah.
I'm kind of wondering if they're going to get him to voice him, because remember whenever they first started talking about the DCU that they were going to,
Mhm.
from now on, they were going to start having voices for the movies match the cartoon. So I'm kind of wondering.
You think
if it's gonna be
they
that-
might be Jeffrey Wright?
Yeah, I'm kind of
Yeah,
wondering.
I mean,
that,
he
and
does the
that's why
voice for the Beyonder and What If, so it's not like
Yeah.
above him to do voices.
Watcher.
And he
so-
was Batman in that
the Watcher, not the
audio-
Beyonder.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was
Beyonder's
Batman
different
himself
character.
in that one
Oh,
audio,
yeah.
that audio production. But who was it Razor Fist or somebody that said the Negro? They didn't even have like it was something like they didn't even have a black guy as the commissioner for the Negro Baseball League. Why would they have one in like the 1940s? It was just like, it's just like, this is the 1940s, so you're just doing a very different.
Oh yeah, they said they were gonna pack diversity in this, and that they were gonna bypass all the. It was gonna have a lot of presentisms, is what I basically got at the time. So at the time that they were talking about the show, and I was like, okay, whatever. I mean,
Well, I mean, it's not like
it
this
doesn't
is
make
based
sense
on-
because if we're doing it, let's just live in the time period. We don't have to look at everything through the lens of today. We could have left it as it was, and it'd have been perfectly fine. But they have to add all these presentisms, which to me, it just takes me out of the experience, because I don't want you race swapping Lucius Fox.
Yeah.
Wait, you're
he's
telling
been
me
a black-
that's not Lucius Fox?
he's been a black character since the beginning. I want him to stay a black character. Why do you that would be the same? I would be just as pissed off if you went and you race swapped him. It's just retarded that this is.
I'm just
Well,
sorry
this is
for
what
all
they're
the
doing
all the gingers that.
I know.
Yeah,
And
all the gingers that had to
ginger
die.
genocide is
It's
real.
funny because like I didn't know he was a ginger until
Yeah, he's redheaded. Yeah,
I guess I was used to him to being like white-headed because the cartoon,
Yeah.
but like the storyline.
no,
where
if you
he-
read
he
like
becomes,
Batman Year One, he is like
Oh, yeah,
full
for
on
sure.
rusty. Yeah.
that's where I remember it the most. That
Well, also
cartoon.
like during the if you read the Zack Snyder, it's Zack Snyder, jeez,
Scott Snyder.
Scott Snyder
Yeah.
series, where in that weird freaking left turn it took,
Where he
the
becomes
super heavy.
Batman.
Yes,
Oh
yes.
god, yeah, he was
Yeah.
redheaded before that.
Yeah.
And that was genuinely terrible.
Yeah,
That
he
was
shaves
one
his
of those
mustache and
things-
he looks like 20 years younger.
Yeah, it's just so weird of an idea, and as far as I know, it completely like disregarded. People are like, oh, that's terrible. That's I have this weird like, it's kind of like a meh hate thing with Scott Snyder. Like people talk about Black Mirror, I think is what he did. It was a Batman Black Mirror.
I
Or
wanna
Black
say that was the
Black
thing he-
Glove.
No,
Black
here, let me look it
Label?
up. Right. I just got a notification for this on cheapgraphicnovels.com. They said, hey,
Mhm.
look, it's like, I think it's called, oh goodness gracious. Let me go back. Cheap graphic. Here it is right here. Okay. Let's see. Batman.
closing out all the
Black.
magic porn tabs.
Black Mirror. You wouldn't know if they're open. So Batman Black Mirror. Yeah, I think that was kind of like the first thing he did. He right after he did the American Vampire for Vertigo, I want to
Sounds
say.
familiar, yeah.
Anyways, that I haven't read, so I can't speak to that one. But whenever got into Super Heavy, that one, what was the one character towards the end of his run on Batman that had that? It was kind of like he had like a flower in the middle of his face, and he had like
Mr. Bloom.
spindly fingers. Yes, that was kind of like he never finished that, as far as I know. I didn't get to see that come to a conclusion. I didn't really care for any of the metal.
Oh, Metal is where like I enjoyed like the Scott Snyder run on Batman. I think it was like the standout. Like I think he's the reason why people don't consider the New 52 a complete failure, even though it's unfair. There's a lot of good stuff that came out of the New 52, but anyway, because his run on Batman was so good, or at least so widely acclaimed. I think that's why New 52 wasn't completely erased. But I will also say I will defend it up until Metal.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just cannot follow this. I don't know what's going on.
It's just contrived, and it's very like it's all over the place.
Yeah, I was actually collecting Batman at that point, and that's where I fell off. Like,
I just got sick of it. I couldn't keep up. I was like, I don't care about this. It's not very good. And then it seemed like after that everybody had like 16 boners for the Batman Who Laughs, and just couldn't get away from the Batman laughs.
You want to talk about the overrated? My goodness.
Look, I may have one boner for him, but not 16.
I had a semi.
You know who I liked? I liked the Grim Knight, and that's just because like basically he was Punisher. He was
I have lots of guns. Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad. But here we got Selena Kyle. Says she's a blithe, pampered heiress whose family's lost her fortune, and her father was imprisoned for embezzlement, which is close to the actual. Because isn't her dad
Carmine Falcone,
the cat or whatever? I can't remember.
The Rose, Carmine Falcone.
Yeah.
No. It's her dad. I can't remember. I read a book recently. It was this guy. He's in prison right now, and he was a rival of Falcone. And Falcone is part of the reason why he's in jail. He's called the Lion or something like that. I can't remember.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I just don't remember the name.
It's in, if you read, which god awful this book was, towards the end, Batman Eternal. And I don't even think it was Batman Eternal. I think it was Batman and Robin Eternal, if I'm not mistaken. Well, right there. Actually, I think it was Batman Eternal. And I didn't get to read all of Batman Eternal because I got the first two trade paperbacks from Ollie's, and they didn't have the third one. And after reading the second one, it just had sapped my will to live that I said, I'm not going to go out and pay full price for the third iteration of this, nor am I going to get the damn omnibus for this because I just can't be bothered. It started off strong, and I really liked the art in the beginning because Fabic is great.
Yeah.
But it just quickly turned into this weird book where it kind of felt all over the place, and then the Midnighter showed up way too many times. I had to say something about this. I just gave my nephews a bunch of comics because I want them to read comic books. I want them to continue on with this and keep doing it. And they were really grateful. There were some comics that I wanted to give them in particular that whenever I read through them, I had to go, no. And a lot of them were DC books where the Midnighter constantly shows up and he constantly has to shoo somebody off on their way to their walk of shame. And I was like, I do not want my nephews to learn about this from me. So I just had to say no. And these were books that I wanted to give them. And I'm like, DC, kids still read this thing. Can we stop with that? Just I wish they would bring back the Vertigo imprint, remove characters like Midnighter and Apollo and all that, switch them back to Vertigo and just let them live there. And that way that's the adult one. And we can still have the DC books that are, and I'm not talking about Black Label. You can do whatever you want on Black Label, but I'm talking about for like, this was a main land. This was a part of the New 52 that I could not give to my nephews because it's like, oh my gosh, the Midnighter shows up in here way too much, and there's too much weirdness here. So I really hate that, and I wish they would stop that. But enough of that. Let's move on to the next topic here. Because I think this is all for this, actually. Let me look. No, Clayface. Clayface is the last thing they showed. And if I'm not mistaken, isn't Clayface is a black character, right?
I don't think so.
In which version? There's been a few.
Because I remember I read some of the Scott McDaniel. I read some of I saw him whenever he was part of, I want to say it was Ed Brubaker era, or that might be pushing. I don't remember who exactly it was. But anyways, he actually he got most of the clay washed away, and the guy underneath, I don't remember his name, but I thought he was a black guy. So
Basil Carlo?
I can't remember. I would think that like
which one?
he doesn't.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
multiple
I don't
Clayfaces.
know enough. Like, let's say I'm not a DC buff here. I am more of a well, and that's not true because there was like an era of DC that I was super into, where I like broke off of Image and I broke off of Marvel and I went to DC, and it was during the height of the Chuck Dixon and the Doug Minch and the that the good old days, the early like the 90s.
Yeah, it was like 92, 3.
Yeah, where we had like Shadow of the Bat, and
Yeah. We had like Cool Robin.
Nightwing had come around to his own character. Well, this is post because Robin got his start with Chuck Dixon writing him after, or I can't remember if it was after or during Nightfall. I don't remember exactly when. And then quickly after that, Dixon went on to do Nightwing, and he did it for for 4 or 5 years, and it was awesome. And that spans right there was the time I was reading DC and absolutely loved it. And I think the last thing that I actually collected from DC was Our Worlds at War, I think is what it was called, or War of Two Worlds. I can't remember the exact name of the event, but I was put off by that time. I was like, I'm done with this. It's just too. I didn't really like that event, and just didn't care anymore after that. But it would have been within that era that I saw what Clayface looked like underneath all the clay, and I was like, oh yeah, I didn't realize he was a black guy. So I would think if you're gonna race swap a bunch of characters, why didn't you keep him pretty much the same way? In this one, it says that he's addicted to an experimental I guess serum that changes his face. See, I don't know enough about Clayface. You guys would have to fill in the blanks there for me.
There's a lot of Clayfaces, and to differentiate them, he should go as Blackface. That should be his name.
Yeah, this is Carlo.
Clayface.
Yeah, this is Yeah, is this the one you were just talking about, Bots?
Yeah, Basil Carlo. He was one of them.
Yeah. Okay. So how many Clayfaces? Let's look this up because I don't know how many Clayfaces. You guys,
I'm gonna guess
like 3.
You guys are supposed to be my DC elite here. How come y'all don't know?
I think there's like 3 of them.
I'm gonna say 4. I think there's
4. There was a girl Clayface at one point.
Lady.
There was like the original Clayface, which he really wasn't doing much of anything. It's like this guy.
One of that weird robot suit armor thing. I remember that.
Yeah, there actually was that.
Okay, so Basil Carlo. Is it Basil or Basil?
Basil.
The one I know is Matt Hagen.
Basil. Austin Powers, you gotta think like that. Basil.
Yeah, Matt Hagen was the one I think I saw.
Matt Hagen, yeah.
I think
he's the one. Matt Hagen was the one from the cartoon that we know of.
Yes, because that was okay. Here's the era where I remember. Yeah, it was part of the Nightwing. What was it? Nightwing year? No, sorry. Was it Robin year 1? No, it was Nightwing year 1. And you actually got to see what he looked like underneath. And I thought it was a black guy, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. It's been years since I read that book.
I know all Clayfaces look the same to you, Ty.
Nice. Let's see what else we got here. Sandra Fuller, that's the girl one you were talking about. Cassius Payne, and then
I want to say Payne was the guy in the suit. I think
Peter Malay. That's the newer. That's the new. Oh yeah, Preston Payne. Was the one in like the suit here. I'll just bring it up for you guys to see it. I'm looking at it here. You can watch it. Preston Payne, is that the suit you're talking about?
I can't see it on my screen. So.
Oh, sorry. Here, let me.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that suit. I love it. Like, why is he? Yeah.
Well, how would you fool anybody as Clayface? How could you fool anybody in a suit like that? I don't know. I am not, like I said, I'm not the big DC aficionado here anymore. So I expected more of you guys. So thanks a lot for.
I don't know what you wanted from us. We told you there were multiple Clayfaces.
Okay. All right. So the next topic here is Peacemaker is getting a new cast member, Frank Grillo, who was forget his name.
A new Rick Flag, right?
Crossbones for the MCU is now. Rick Flag Sr.
Which is weird because it doesn't feel like he's that much older than Rick Flag Jr.
Yeah, it is weird. He must have had him when he was 2. I don't know.
But in real life, that guy is actually older, and he's actually older actor.
He doesn't look like a very young guy, but yeah.
He doesn't look young, but he's older. I mean, he's in shape and all that stuff.
it gets kind of murky here because Peacemaker is still existing in the old, what is basically the Snyderverse, right? It's the holdover. And so he would be the father of the Rick Flag that appeared in the Suicide Squad and regular Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And forthcoming Diet Suicide Squad. So this is all the same. And Viola Davis is still playing Amanda Waller, I think, going forward. Like, it doesn't matter. She's just Waller, which is good. She is good in the role. But it's also like, well, if you're keeping her, why can't you keep Henry Cavill? I'm sure David Gordon Scott's fine, but
yeah,
if you're just like allowed to keep people, you know.
Yeah, now you're just picking
Superman,
and choosing, you know?
It's a multiverse. Who cares? You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it seems kind of odd. And I want to say I read in real life that the difference of ages in the actors is like 14 years. But, you know, there's been disparity and that kind of thing in actors before. But I am curious of like what's going to be presented in the actual show.
Is he going to be made to look old in the TV show? Because if he's part of the Creature Commandos, right? That's quite a bit older than Rick Flag Jr., right?
Yeah.
Because wasn't Creature Commandos? Isn't that like a World War II era comic?
It's World War II? Is it?
That's what I thought.
I don't know.
This is the problem when they have such obscure titles like Creature Commandos that nobody knows anything about really. The people that do just did like a quick search on Google and they're like, oh, I knew everything. And you're like, yeah, nobody fucking knows, bro. I mean, don't lie.
Yeah, let's not pretend.
But I don't know. I'm not very familiar with Creature Commandos. I was looking forward to seeing because the first thing that we're going to get for Creature Commandos is actually a animation, right?
Yeah,
as far as I know.
Yes.
So he's going to be playing the live action version of himself from the cartoon, and I'm guessing they're going to age him up for this because the Rick Flag character because this doesn't keep the stuff from the old DCEU. So are they they're going to recast Rick Flag?
Well, it'll be like, or if they are going to keep that little bit.
Didn't Rick Flag die in Suicide Squad?
Peacemaker killed him. So like,
yeah,
is he going to be like, hey, you killed my son? Are we going to remember that?
I'm guessing that's why he's coming back. So
yeah,
to avenge his fallen son. I don't know. This is weird how he's like taking. Well, I guess the stuff he did for Suicide Squad is technically in DCU universe, right? It's within DCU. So, but that means you're pulling stuff from the old DCEU because the Suicide Squad that we got initially still had the same Rick Flag, right? I can't remember the guy who played RoboCop, right? The guy, the 2014 RoboCop,
Joel Kinnaman, something like that,
whatever his name is. So I don't know. It's weird how the fact that they've like scrapped everything. It just feels weird when you try to go back and like make sense of this stuff because of like, is that part of it now? Is that canon? I don't know.
Yeah, you're picking.
But he did. Technically, he did. He made the first movie, though, right? He made the first Suicide Squad.
No, he didn't. He only made the second.
So he picked up on the second one.
David Ayer made the first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Until we get the Ayer cut.
Suicide Squad. Stop trying to make the Ayer cut happen. Okay. It's
constantly trying to get the Ayer cut at greenlit. But anyways, he's reprising his role as technically. I don't know if he could reprise something that hasn't come out yet. I'd just say he's playing his role. I mean, I don't know. Anyways, that's what's coming out of DC. Let's next move on to the back to Marvel because we got some news about casting for Fantastic Four. Oops, here we go.
Yeah, he's the guy I'm sure I've seen in things.
He's that guy from the Things.
He's the guy from the Things. Wasn't this the bad guy on
Willow? Yes.
Willow, yeah. The poor guy who didn't he get bit? I can't remember actually what happened there. That show was so bad.
Bit. Yeah, maybe it was.
I think he got bit by one of the creatures, and it like started to overtake him.
Yeah.
The guy has a phenomenal voice, though. So
very.
if this is the person that they got to play Galactus, more power to him. This is one of the only casts so far that I've actually agreed with, because that's essentially what. Because at first I think they wanted to get the guy who played what was the bad guy in Skyfall, right? I'd heard
Javier
rumblings.
Bardem.
Yeah, they had talked about him, and he has a pretty good voice, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of would go for more British than Hispanic.
I'm a little disappointed. I wanted the whole cast to be Hispanic, and now we have
yeah, no, I know.
This
I know
guy.
you did. And I don't know. I think this guy is going to do a pretty good job. I've seen him in a couple other things, and I like him. So I very much agree with his casting. I haven't seen him in all these things that they listed. I don't remember him in Guardians of the Galaxy. Who did he play in Guardians of the Galaxy? I don't really remember him in The Northman. There was so much going on in that movie. I never saw The Witch because my wife is absolutely disgusted by that movie because they like kill a baby in the first 5 minutes.
Jeez.
I don't know who he was in Harry Potter. This guy just seems like he's in a lot of stuff, and I just don't know exactly what character he played. But I do remember in Willow, sadly for him. But
yeah,
good cast.
Well, what's weird is like because he was in Willow, and I saw him. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I know that's an established actor. He's probably gonna have a big part. Well, no, he doesn't. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
but, you know, he's a good actor. He's like he's in things. He's the guy. Who he played, you can't remember, but you see.
Yeah, no, we don't know his actual name. Okay, and this guy, Paul Walter Hauser from Cobra Kai. Who is this guy? I don't know his. I would say if
you don't know who that guy is,
Bodz, I watched maybe. I don't even think I finished the first season of Cobra Kai.
Oh, okay.
Or no, I did. I did finish the first season of Cobra Kai, and then I got to the second season, and then I got 2 ABC special for me to stick with it. So I dumped it, and now I don't know who anybody is.
And now you regret it. Well,
no, I do not regret it. That show got so warm and fuzzy, I could not handle it. It just was like too heartwarming. It was like young Sheldon. I was like, okay, I want them to be more bad guys than they are.
You know what's funny that you said young Sheldon is tonight. The last episode of Young Sheldon aired. So when they find this in the time capsule in 1,000 years, they'll know.
They'll know.
This came out the same day.
So who tell me about this character, Bodz. Did he do a good job on Cobra Kai?
Yeah. He's a really good actor.
It's Raymond Stingray Porter.
He's in Eastwood's Richard Jewell movie. Like
Richard Jewell,
didn't he win an award for that?
He won the Richard Jewell Prize. It was the Jewel.
Yeah, the Jewel of the Nile. No, I mean Cobra Kai. He's a funny character, so he's not having to do anything.
And
it also says right here, so they don't know. He's just been cast. It doesn't say who's been cast as. So showing
they
the
put
Mole Man
him right by Mole Man.
Yeah, putting him by Mole Man.
That as like Mole Man, really?
Yeah.
Who else?
He's like he's like
this is news to me.
Yeah. It says they either see him playing Mole Man or voicing Herbie or maybe Dr. Doom. I don't think that's Dr. Doom.
I don't think it's going to be Dr. Doom. They're going to have to get someone super intimidating for Dr. Doom.
And even now, let me go back here and let me look at this. So, they say he's playing. Okay, so this guy they know is going to be on here, but they don't know who he's playing.
He's probably just going to be like the security guard at the desk at the Baxter building.
Works at the, he just works at the Baxter building.
He also had a role in an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I don't know that one. I haven't. Granted, I haven't seen all.
He's part of the group in the new episodes. Are you really?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't know. Even if he was, I wouldn't know. I still want to see. I still sad that I don't get to see the Lethal Weapon episode.
Oh yeah.
That's never going to be seen again. And I'm also sad that you can't see the trans episode of IT Crowd, because that is the funniest fight of like television of all time. The most hilarious fight scene. The one
I saw it on Netflix.
Yeah,
so that's
you saw it before it got stripped off of the internet. Yeah, that was the last time.
I'm so behind on the IT Crowd, and everybody's told me to watch it, and it's funny. And by the time I watched it, I was like, "Oh man, this is good," and I liked it. And I got to the very last episode, and then it was off of Netflix.
Yeah, you didn't miss much. The last episode wasn't that great. The two best episodes of that show were the tranny episode where he fights
With
the
Matt
tranny.
Berry.
Matt Berry, and then the other one that was funny is where he had to wear the electric sex pants. I thought that was a hilarious one because he goes to see the magician in the desert, and he gives him roofies, and he ends up taking them himself, and it makes him like aroused when it really would make him just sleepy. But then the next, I think it was the next couple episodes, he was court ordered to wear these like electrical taser pants that if he got aroused at all, they would shock him. So I thought that was a pretty funny episode as well. And let's move on to the next character. John Malkovich has been cast as well. It says here that he joins the cast along with Paul Walter Hauser, but his role is unknown as well. And I don't know who I would say he would play.
Like
he's gonna play himself.
Sue Storm. He's gonna be like Sue Storm's dad or something.
You're not too good for my daughter, Reed.
That's all I can think of.
I want you to take care of my daughter.
Or a
Reed,
teacher.
Reed.
Maybe like a teacher for Reed Richards. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know how far back they're going to go with this. I have honestly no.
I just hope he has his like Russian accent from Rounders, where he's like, "He'd be it to me.
He'd be it to me.
He'd be it to me." He's playing cards.
Suka blyat. So yeah, John Malkovich joins cast, and then also, and I have no clue who this character who she's gonna play, but
you know who she is.
I know who she is. I don't know.
I
didn't
watch Russian Dolls, so I don't know.
She's gonna play Sue's sister. All these people are gonna be just like family members.
No, she's gonna play her B. That's who she's going to play.
Oh, she's going to play the girl version of the robot, her P.
She's going to play Sue's racist sister. You're not going to marry him because he's Mexican.
No, he's Chilean. You keep getting this wrong. He's Chilean.
Well, in the movie, he's Mexican.
I'm sure that
the Hispanic name of Richards.
I just Reed. I'm not one of these people that has to see myself in movies to enjoy them. I don't care if they make a character Hispanic or not. It does not. Just that doesn't appeal to me. I would like to keep them as they are because we're paying by making these things, we're paying homage to the original creator's idea. If you want to do something like that, make a new character and just get on with it. But I hate this like co-opting of characters that already exist. But like it's like you're wearing a skin suit of these characters, and it just irritates me because it's not what I notice
that. When they do come up with original characters, they usually don't catch on.
Yeah.
All I know is Ty says this now, but when we were little kids, I would not let him be any of the white characters. I was like, "You're going to be Sunspot. I get to be all the white characters. You're Sunspot."
No. This is not what happened, Bodz. You go to Bodz's house and you'd be like, "I want to play the Klingons," and he's all, "No. The Klingons are too cool, so I'm going to play the Federation and the Klingons. You're
be the
Ferengi." That's what happens when you play Bodz.
I was a jerk as a kid. I was very like bossy. Like I was like, "No, you're going to be the Ferengis." I'm sorry, Ty. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I was the way I was.
But which is weird.
30 years later, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think because I kind of see that in my daughter now. So I'm like, I'm sorry.
It was like 31 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the next topic. Spider Noir is coming, and Nick Cage is going to play the character. Now, I still don't understand this, because nobody has mentioned whether or not this is going to be an animation or not, but I'm going to guess it's going to be an animation because nobody wants to see rickety Nicolas Cage hopping around. Yeah, rickety.
I thought I saw something that said live action just recently.
There's no way that this is going to be live action. I've not seen anywhere where they say either way.
I mean, okay, if we think about it as like a superhero movie, the last time he was suited up in a superhero movie was Kick-Ass, and that was like 20 years ago. So
guy, whatever.
Yeah,
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy, and then he was also Superman. for very
yeah,
very-
that's right, technically.
for a photo shoot.
for a
Yeah.
photo shoot. Yep. That's the creepiest Superman suit as well. I feel like I need an adult every time I
Yeah.
see that one as well. It's
There's
very
very high underwear on the hips.
yeah,
Like,
it's very weird looking, but I don't know. I didn't care for it, to be honest.
He looks
but-
like he has the panties of an 80s fitness model is what it
Yeah.
looks like.
yeah.
I don't know.
That's what I imagine and fantasize anyway.
I think this will be kind of a weird thing because my question is how is Sony involved? Because when you look at the deal, it says that MGM it's going to feature on MGM Plus and Prime. So as far as I know, Sony still owns the rights to all the Spider characters to make, is MGM and Prime licensing it much like they're licensing, like Prime is licensing Batman. I don't know. Is it? I'm sure it's not going to be in the same style as the Spider-Verse movie. So I'm just kind of wondering what this is going to look like in the end.
I don't know.
I do like the Spider-Verse version of Noir. He's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like him.
He was a fun character. He didn't do a whole lot in the movie. He just kind of,
No, and
had a
sat out
couple
the second movie.
yeah, he kind of had a couple. Well, he did show up at the very end of the second.
Oh,
movie.
that's right. He did show up.
He did show up at the very end.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what to. Yeah, here we go. Apparently now, in the new Spider-Man 2 game, which I'm not gonna play until it comes to PC, you can play as Spider Noir from the Spider-Verse movies, and he has a special that half he's animated on the twos or whatever,
Mhm.
and he also has the hat I think now that he didn't have before, and the trench coat, which it's pretty cool. And I think you can actually play the game in black and white, which that's awesome. So
That's a neat kind of little thing, Dad.
yeah, more power to that. But still, I'm a little bit wary of that because Sweet Baby Inc. is still involved with Spider-Man 2, and that's the guy that came up with Sweet Baby Inc. Detected. Apparently, his Discord server got hacked, and they started mass banning people from within the server. And he said they were in there for 2 hours messing with his account. So people are apparently pretty ticked off about him only doing this. He just said, I went to their website, I looked at the games they said they were involved in, and I made a list on Steam. And that apparently was racist and horrible and evil, and he's being chastised for it, which I find to be absolutely stupid. But more power to Nicolas Cage. I like that he likes comics this much to do this kind of stuff. So I really appreciate him going on and doing that. Next up, we're going to talk about. Hold on, sorry. Banner here. Yeah, let's look. Roadhouse Part 2 has been greenlit.
Yeah,
and
I saw that.
maybe
today.
I was the only person who asked the question, why? Why did this happen?
You're not the only person.
Because hold on, what the heck is going on here? Hold on. Click. All right, I'm gonna have to copy and paste this link because it's not working. Way to go, Bill Gates. Here we go. Roadhouse 2 is getting a sequel starring Jake Gyllenhaal on Prime Video. Now, there was something in here that shocked me. Yes, with nearly 80 million viewers to date, 80 million viewers watched this. And I'm not saying it's trash. I'm just saying it's meh. It's not terrible.
And that's the thing is I know they made I want to say it was this movie that they made a big deal. They're like, oh man, this should have gone to the theaters, but should it have? Because I think more people watched it. I wouldn't have seen it if it went to the theaters.
No, I would not have gone to see this.
But
it's just meh. It's just
It
even has kind of an if you ask me, it had an anticlimactic ending. I just didn't think much of this movie. It just had a weird, it was just kind of there. I wish I would have saw more of the funny guy that was in it, because that guy was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, there was some cool parts. So I'll give it to the movie. Whenever Dalton goes all Terminator on people, and he punches the guy in the highway bone, and he just basically lets him,
Suffocate
to death,
starve to death.
That was cool. But On Twitter, this is what got posted by Prime Video, so they're very, very serious. So they're already putting this out. I'm guessing, hey, if you're successful, go ahead and do it, Prime.
It was a big draw for them. So yeah.
I don't know. I'm just not one of the people that thought this was a particularly interesting movie.
And it's like it's funny because I remember
I didn't show you guys.
not seeing anything like super awesome about the movie. People like going, "Oh, this is the best ever, better than the first one." I just noticed a lot of people said they watched it.
Oh,
No. I'm saying no.
Okay, you're saying nobody said that.
Yeah, no one said that. I'm just saying that just a lot of people said, "Hey, I watched it. It was okay."
It was fine.
But a lot of people watched it. Is the thing.
Yeah, it's just nothing. It was nothing special. I really didn't get the whole cool vibe that I got from Patrick Swayze as the cooler, and he had all this like rules and stuff. I didn't get any of that stuff. I still think it's weird that Post Malone was in it. I don't know why he decided to take his shirt off for this. I would not have done it, Posty.
Yeah,
there's a lot of weird decisions in this that I'm not like terribly psyched about. It was okay. Does it deserve a sequel? I don't think so. Honestly, one of the characters I thought was one of the other characters I thought was kind of that stole the show was Conor McGregor.
Oh yeah,
it's because he was like Bodz was saying. I don't think he knew he was in a movie. I think he's just fighting.
He just came in there walking like he does.
Yeah,
but I guess he's coming back for the sequel too, or did they mention anything about that?
He would have to be because of the only thing I can come up with here. This is what I would think if they're going to do in the movie. So he killed the main, I guess, crime boss guy that was in prison. He killed his son, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to guess that is they're going to be the new big bad for the next movie. It's going to be the father who was in prison. I'm going to guess he busts out, and then I'm going to guess Conor McGregor comes back and joins forces because he did live through the movie.
He did.
They're going to go ahead and fight Jake Gyllenhaal to the death. I don't know.
No, here's what's going to happen. Jake Gyllenhaal gets his life together, goes to New York, becomes a real cooler, and then he has to really do Roadhouse the right way.
Well, I would hope he'd do that. I'd hope that he came through this. He's like, that was some good experience I got there.
Yeah.
I think what I'm going to call this job I do is I'm going to call it the cooler.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to have my bouncer. I don't know.
And then I'm going to bring in Sam Elliott's character because we did not get Sam Elliott's character.
He's still alive.
He's still alive.
You know what's funny? It's funny? I saw, I don't know if y'all have watched any, I have Samsung TV streaming or whatever. Every time you turn your Samsung TV on, it has a streaming channel that it does. And one of the funniest things that I've ever seen, Riff Tracks is on like 24 hours a day on there, right? They have a channel.
Yeah.
And they have constant commercials for just the jokes that you can buy off their website and then play them while you're watching the movie. And one of the funniest jokes I saw in there. Oh, let me see if I can find it. Here, I'll bring it up just so I don't ruin the joke here. You'll see the joke I'm talking about here in a second. You go, oh my God. Riff Tracks. It's Roadhouse Riff Tracks.
I remember in I want to say it was Mike Nelson's book about Mystery Science Theater was like his favorite movie was Roadhouse. So
really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to find the trailer here. Is this going to be the one?
The guy who watches terrible movies for a living. I love
Okay, here we go. Here we go. We're gonna play this. We're gonna play this. All right, here we go.
Also, it's Brent for bread. Want to make out?
It's clear he expected more out of these drunken, gap-toothed, inbred hillbillies.
You're too stupid to have a good time.
This is how I feel every time I block somebody on Twitter.
You're out to selling booze here, not drugs.
We want our customers rowdy and enraged, not just mellow and hungry.
Outside of Kansas City called the Double Deuce.
Runner-up alternate named the Upper Decker and the Two Turds.
Oh, Jiminy Glick fall over the couch? Nice.
How was your childhood like, Brad Wesley?
Paper covers rock me, ho.
That's the best joke. Paper covers rock me, ho.
Hey,
I died the first time I heard that.
Go rewind it just a little bit to the part where he's fighting the guy on the over the couch when he flips him over the couch.
Okay.
And then if you can pause on Patrick Swayze.
Oh, Jiminy Glick fall over the couch? Nice.
How was your childhood
Right
like, Brad Wesley?
there. He's wearing, and I did this because I thought it was cool, a karate gi top with jeans. It's not as cool as you think it would be. But I remember wearing that to school one time in high
but
school.
it's weird that it's tucked into his pants. That's
and
the
I
weird
did
part.
that. I thought it'd be cool. Roadhouse made me think it was cool, but was not.
Not as cool as I thought.
Paper covers rock me, ho. Like most of Dalton's dates, she immediately explores exit strategies.
I say the dude abides. Never.
But anyways, yeah, that's my favorite little Roadhouse side thingy there. Paper covers rock me.
Rock Miho. He keeps calling him Miho in the whole movie.
Miho.
Because he's Hispanic.
Sure. Oh, there you go. I remember when your wife kept calling you Miho, and I was like, girl, don't do that. That's weird. That's really weird.
That's a Sam Elliott line.
No, it's just weird. When she's like Miho, I was like, oh, that's creepy. Like, I don't want my wife calling me Miho. That's weird.
So you're saying Miho.
Miho is Miho.
You're
Miho.
Miho. It was like more like an Irish thing. Oh,
Yeah.
Miho.
Where's Miho at?
Where's Miho at? Anyways, yeah, don't know why it's coming out. And finally, on the list here, we have. Oh wait, not finally. There's two more things to go here. Daredevil Born Again. We got some fresh, and of course I put it there. We got some fresh news about this. So apparently it's coming out March 2025. Okay, and there was a trailer that was shown, but it was shown behind closed doors to I guess the press, not anybody else, along with the Ironheart trailer, which nobody cares about, and Agatha. We didn't. I was almost going to put Agatha on this list this week. Agatha got a new title. It wasn't apparently the lying witch with a great wardrobe or whatever. That was completely scrapped very quickly and went to it was Agatha All Along, I believe is the name of the new Agatha All Along. I think is what it's called.
I think they just did that just to like mess with us.
I'm sure it was a stunt, but yeah.
I think we're supposed to understand that it's Agatha being meta and like being like mischievous, and I think it's just kind of backfiring. I don't think people get it. I think people think
I don't
Marvel
think people
doesn't know what they're
care.
doing. Well, yeah, I think ultimately you're right. People just, I think people maybe they do get it. And they're like, yeah, we get it. We just like why
They're
should
like
have a show.
It's like
Well, I
stop
think
trying to
people
make
are
fetch
looking at
happen.
that going, this is the character that you pulled out of there that you want to do more of. I just don't know. It just doesn't really.
See, that's the whole problem with like the MCU and to your point earlier, the what if you're just playing on these characters that we just don't really care about.
Nobody cares about. I mean, you did a good job with WandaVision. Was for what it was. WandaVision was great, but to pull Agatha and say that girl deserved her own TV show as an MCU title, that's so flippin' weird. Why would you do that? Just move on. This is strange. This is a strange choice right there.
It kind of feels like people got excited when it first was on, like, oh, she should have her own show. And they're like, okay, cool. And then they forget like how long and how much time and effort it takes to make a show. And then like by the time it actually gets made, they're like, oh, we don't really care anymore. Like,
yeah.
You said,
well,
like,
and plus 6 different titles later, like really, we don't care anymore. We really don't care anymore. But okay, so they went ahead and they showed it behind closed doors, and we finally got a look at what the title is going to look. The title screen is going to look like for it, and here it is. It's changed up quite a bit. It's not offensive. It's not bad. It's just kind of
kind of middle of the road, sort of.
Yeah. Okay. I just really wish they would do the actual. Let's do if we're gonna call it Born Again. Let's do the Born Again. Let's do the actual Born Again storyline. Man, bring on the drugs and all that crap because that's.
I want to see some AIDS.
I want to. Oh no, that's Guardian Devil. Yeah, that would be great.
Mind.
I wish they would do Guardian Devil. That would be crazy. I guess whenever they want to kill off the girl, the I can't remember the name of this girl. I know Karen Page, but I don't know the name of the actress.
Well,
I can never remember her
could
name.
do Guardian Devil.
Deborah Worrell.
Huh?
Yeah.
Deborah Worrell or something like that.
I don't know. She's the hot girl from True Blood. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Oh, Deborah Ann Wolf.
Well,
there you go.
I want to say, but
that sounds not right either. But okay.
if you did Guardian Devil, you'd have to have Jake Gyllenhaal back as Mysterio. Spoiler, but apparently Peter Parker murdered him in cold blood at the end of Far From Home.
Yeah.
And
they're getting real happy with the murders in the MCU. I'm like, you got to keep these people around, right?
Yeah.
At the end of Far From Home, like, wait, Peter Parker did just murder Mysterio, right?
Yeah.
And what? Did I not see that?
Yeah, he did kill him. So yeah, there's the title screen that we're going to be getting, and then apparently there was some interviews done with D'Onofrio and Cox, and here is that interview, and it's most.
Like, my knees are not what they were 10 years ago, nor is my back.
I hear that.
I did have shoulder surgery during the strike to try and get my shoulder back on track. It's a really physically demanding show, which I love, and we wouldn't have it any other way. It's kind of what makes it what it is. And there will definitely come a time where I am not able to do it anymore. But for right now, just keep doing the best job we can and loving it, and feel incredibly grateful to still be making this show, and hopefully we've got another 10 years in us.
Are you going to be able to see the teaser inside?
I'm definitely going to be watching it after I've
So you're not going to believe anything he just told you?
Hey, so is this Pacey? This is Pacey, right? I just noticed this. That looks like Pacey in the background.
Like
I think that's
Jackson?
Shit, I think that is him.
I think that is Pacey. I was like, oh god, Pacey's standing right there.
Once you see that teaser.
Yeah, that's him.
Speak to me about working together on set and shooting. If there's anything you can say of favorite memories or
How many scenes did we get? I can't say, actually.
Not many.
No.
I mean, I think even over all the 5 things we've done, probably a handful of scenes.
Yeah, totally.
But we see each other a lot, and we're very much involved together in the creative process as well. So we talk a lot.
We're on the phone all the time.
Yeah, and we agree on almost everything. I'll read it first, the scripts first, and I'll text Vincent, and he'll be like, what do you think? And I'll be like, I'm not saying till you've read it, and then we'll talk about it. And we almost always agree.
Yeah.
So
he's pretending to have a British accent. That's crazy.
Or Irish, or whatever he is.
Yeah, as I say, I think he was Irish, but I kind of wish that he'd speak about like what the old concept was, because it was so bad that they basically reshot the entire show.
Yeah.
So he shot the show twice this season. He should be on season 4 by now.
Way more rehab.
And I'm kind of wondering, like, I would like to have some sort of like closure there of like, what was the deal? Can you just give us kind of a peek behind the curtain of what was so weird and bad about the original concept? I think for me, it would have been like they got rid of Foggy and they got rid of Karen. I think that's such a freaking left turn that I don't know how you come back from that. It's so weird. I'm glad somebody had some sense and said, you know what, let's just not do this. Let's just go back to the original
course
concept. Course correct it. This was their ugly Sonic moment, and they they went and fixed their screw up. I'm just curious. I know Razor has said he's done with the show. He's like, never mind. So I'm gonna watch it anyways. I can't help it. I want to see it, but I will be very guarded because the guy, the director or the writer of the first and second season of The Punisher is doing this one. So I'm very cautious. Yeah, because that was some trash. That was straight up trash. So I don't know what to think about this. Hopefully he redeems himself here. Hopefully he learned from his past mistakes and he does something really good here. But I don't like the weird preachiness, leftist preachiness he had in that first season of, I think it was the first season, the one where he had like the kind of the Alex Jones character and all that. I thought that was just absolute
boring
garbage.
First season.
Yes, boring. That is its cardinal sin. First and foremost, it was extremely boring. I don't know how you make the Punisher boring, but they found a way. But anyways, let's move on to the very last topic here. The Rings of Power got this season 2 trailer. Now, I did not watch the Rings of Power 1. I think both of you guys
I did.
it.
Yeah, I did. I watched it.
I kind of gave up on anything Lord of the Rings whenever they Prime started messing with it, because I kind of like have taken the stance of like, well, I died my hill to die on was the Peter Jackson version of this, because this just looks like a weird, like hodgepodge of presentisms, and it's Prime's politics on full display here. So I can't speak to that. You guys are gonna tell me if I'm right there.
If you like presentisms, then Rings of Power is for you.
Yeah. A book written in 1930 something.
Yeah.
But here we go. Here, let's go ahead and play the trailer.
Are you playing the trailer?
I'm seeing Charlie Cox's face.
You're gonna tell me. You're gonna tell me immediately when I do that, because I forget to hit share. Here, go ahead, buddy. You really gotta tell me immediately.
We didn't know.
Evil.
Just thought you were ignoring us.
Does it not play sound for you guys? Is that?
No.
I see it now.
Hans returned.
Prepare yourselves.
A worm is his way inside your mind.
Literally.
The crest of him slithers in.
I think he has been here. I think he's been here among us all along.
I'm guessing this is Sauron here.
Okay, so that may make a little more sense with him looking like an elf, because I think that's how he came to them.
Soul in Middle Earth is empowered.
Yeah, it was
to
one
get
of
the
his
rings
guys.
made.
When are we gonna get the bearded dwarf women?
Yeah,
Sorry,
we were supposed to get bearded dwarf women.
Instead,
Come on.
she has a beard, and
I mean, she looks like
because-
she's got a little bit of stubble going here.
Well, I'm just saying her
That's
husband is her beard, or she's his beard, maybe. 'Cause he hung out a lot with that other guy. That's all I'm saying.
It's in peril.
I want to see some Melkor, gosh darn it. Or Morgoth.
You want to see what now?
Morgoth. Thorin's
Morgoth.
like the original big bad guy.
He's the big bad, yeah. So, I'll watch it. We'll see. I don't know.
I don't know.
You
It's
gotta,
like a
you gotta
show-
embellish here a little bit, Bodz. You gotta tell me some more about this show, because I didn't watch it at all. So
Okay.
what was the show like? Because you hear from Nerdrotic and you hear from a lot of guys that this is just absolute trash. Do you agree?
Mostly yes. Like, so from
Okay, people. Now, Bodz even breathed a word of that. This show is not worth watching.
Well,
Because he will look for the silver lining in anything. You could, as long as it has a little bit of something Bodz likes in it, he will say something good about it. But if he's like, for the most part, it's pretty bad. That's a bad sign.
yeah, like my favorite character ended up being Sauron. So I mean, like, so it tells you something. But
Was Sauron that weird character that was kind of blonde?
Yeah.
and had like okay.
So he looked like a human in the first the first season. He looks like a normal person, and like I was like, he started doing some badass stuff, and like I was like, wait a minute, you're a little too strong to be a human. Like, I think he breaks a guy's arm. I mean, it's not like it was superhuman or anything. I just like I don't know. He had a little darkness, and I was like, you may be the bad guy.
If you're familiar with the lore in any way, it'll be very irritating to watch.
Yes. Yeah, because apparently, from what I mean, was our friend Jeremy telling us about this? Like, they only have rights to certain things.
Yeah.
So
They,
what they need is the what was it? Similarian? Is that
the Silmarillion? Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess they don't have the rights to that, so it's very.
Which I think
off.
at this point, I'm like, with some other new movie being made, an animated movie of some kind being made. I'm thinking the Tolkien heirs that are in charge now. My understanding of it is the son, Christopher Tolkien, he wanted to stay very true to his father's work. And I think the children, or maybe even grandchildren of Christopher, are like, money's great. So
show me the money.
At it.
Money is great.
So I don't think they care as much, but it's not like I know. I have him on the other line. I could talk to him, but I'm gonna stay here.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't want to. I remember Bodz talking about wanting to see he was watching it with his wife.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's probably the only way. See, my wife totally wrote it off. She's like, I'm not watching this, and I'm like, oh, thank God, because I don't want to watch it either. So you guys, that's probably the only reason you saw it, is because your better halves were like, oh my God, let's watch this show, and because it just did not look good to me from the get-go.
I mean, well, my wife has little interest in Lord of the Rings. It's just not her thing. But
no, we really like Lord of the Rings. Like OG Lord of the Rings is just like
great.
pinnacle of like just good movie making.
It's just weird to think that was made so long ago and it still holds up. Like you go back and watch it, it's great. It still holds up.
I probably watch the trilogy once a year, just because it's that
Have you
good.
seen the extendeds? Have you seen the extendeds? Yeah, they're great.
That's what we'll watch, and they're man, that's a good movie series, and it gets me every time when they're all like, my friend, you bow to no one. Like just good stuff. Good stuff.
Every time.
Local to us, I want to say in a few weeks, there's some theaters playing the extended editions in the theater for like a 3-day event type of thing. So that just goes to show you.
Do you have 9 hours or what? 10
or
you not have a job or family? Then come on, let's go see it.
Come on, yeah.
I had a
that
friend.
just goes to show you that people are still willing to go see these movies.
Yeah,
and I think they're just failing to recreate the magic. Like if Peter Jackson himself and the main cast couldn't recreate the magic in the Hobbit trilogy, I don't know what you expect these other people are going to be capable of.
So speaking of that, Peter Jackson said that he's going to be involved with like the Hunt for Gollum prequel thing. So to my understanding, if I remember right from the books, that was Aragorn hunting him down. So like, I mean,
this is after.
Oh, cool. We could
no, when? No, because he would be dead. So like, when was this?
Oh, this is in the beginning. Like at one point, Gandalf. I'm pretty sure it was Gandalf. Got Aragorn to track him down and capture Gollum at one point. And this is like in the time period, like in the movie, where it's like it looks like it's just a really fast time frame, but it's like 15 years or something like that. Like I've got to go learn more about the ring, and like he takes off.
I want to say in the book he just takes him a while.
Yeah, it does, and then like it takes Frodo forever to leave like the Shire.
It takes him like 30 years to leave or something.
He's like, you know what? I think I checked everything off the list. I turned the iron off. Yeah, we can go. We can go.
Yeah, I think we're good now.
But yeah, so with Peter Jackson being involved in this future project, I mean, it might be something to look forward to. I don't know. It's just
it's for sure.
You never know.
It's the search for more money for sure. It's just It's like I don't know. Like ever since the Hobbit trilogy, I'm like, yeah, man, the magic is just gone. I'm happy we can go back and revisit that trilogy, but
at this point, you're just making stuff up to make money.
It's officially licensed fanfic at this point, and it's just if it were good, who cares? But you watch it, and it's just, it's like, I remember watching Rings of Power when it came on, really wanting to like it, and not all of it was like terrible.
Yeah,
but ultimately it was a little confusing. So I was like, is this supposed to coincide with the Peter Jackson films or not?
Yeah, it's like that's where I was at too. I was like, you're really trying to have that look and feel, but Is it supposed to? I don't know.
It was very ambiguous and kind of confusing. And this new season looks like something that, despite myself, I will probably watch, but I don't know how, like I don't know if I'll be like priority, like, oh, this is the next thing I have to watch.
Yeah.
I may kind of like, I'll watch it, but maybe I'll wait it for a few episodes and just kind of go through.
It'll definitely be something that I'm sure I'll watch.
Honestly, the only thing that I have watched lately, like the kept up with, has been X-Men 97. I watched every episode as it came out, except for today, but I will be watching it. I'd rather read something than watch TV right now. I've been going back to the past catalog for most of the Marvel stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't made it through everything. I got to get through Hawkeye, and I got to get through it's Hawkeye, and there's something else that I can't remember at the moment.
Well,
but
I read something today that apparently Hawkeye's going to get, they want like another season of Hawkeye. I'm like, okay, cool. I thought it ended on a good note, but I think
it did.
I'll take another Hawkeye. And this article says, I wish I knew the name of it, but it says like Hawkeye's a brother named Barney. I gotta say, I never knew that. I'm just not up to speed with my Hawkeye lore.
There's a bunch of Epic collections that are coming out on Hawkeye, so I'm gonna pick those up so I can catch up with them either, because it's one of those characters I just don't know enough about.
Yeah, Hawkeye's brother Barney worked in the circus as a I'm just making stuff up. I'm just making crap up.
Don't know.
No one knows.
But
so that's all I got for today, folks.
Well, it's past my bedtime anyway, so
I figured it was. As always, guys, thank you for coming out and just talking about these topics with me. I really want to say I appreciate Hero Mode Podcast for coming out and talking to us as well. That was really awesome. I would have highlighted your. We've never gotten a comment. Well, we have got a comment live. It's been
nothing good,
truly, but you can see. Look, we can if you're seeing what I'm seeing here, you can actually highlight these, which I thought is really cool. I should have done that, but I didn't know. Anyways, guys, thanks for coming out and talking to me about these topics. And for Bodz, Noir, the Middle-Aged Mutants, this is us signing off. See you next time.